Have you ever wondered why two property investors can buy similar assets, claim depreciation on both, and still end up with very different tax outcomes in the early years? A lot of investors assume there is just one method of depreciation. You claim it, save some tax, and that's it. But there's a bit more to it. When it comes to plant and equipment, the method you use can change how quickly you can claim those deductions, which can make a real difference to your cash flow. In this video, I'll break down the difference between prime costs and diminishing value, explain how each method works, and show you why this choice can matter more than many investors realize. If you own an investment property, tax depreciation can be one of the most valuable deductions available to you. But for a lot of investors, it can feel a bit confusing. You hear terms like prime costs, diminishing value, effective life, and written down value, and suddenly it all sounds more technical than it needs to be. The good news is, the concept itself is actually pretty simple. Depreciation can reduce your taxable income, which may improve your after-tax cash flow. And when you're covering the cost of holding an investment property, that extra cash flow can make a real difference. This generally applies to assets that wear and tear over time, like carpets, appliances, and air conditioners. It also applies to capital works, which is the structural parts of the property, such as framework, windows, roof, and driveways. So the real question is not just, can I claim depreciation? It's, how do I claim it in a way that best suits my strategy? Let's start with prime costs. This is when the depreciation claim is spread evenly over the asset's effective life. If you had blinds installed worth $10,000, which have an effective life of 10 years, prime costs would generally let you claim about $1,000 per year. It's the steady option, consistent, predictable, and it's easy to map out over time. On the other hand, diminishing value is more front-loaded. It gives you a larger deduction in the earlier years, with the value of deductions reducing over time. That's because the claim is based on the asset's remaining value each year, instead of spreading the original value evenly from the beginning like prime cost method works. If we use that same blinds asset as an example, that $10,000 blind under diminishing value would produce a $2,000 deduction in the first year, then reduce later years. The simplest way to think about it is this: prime cost method is steady and even, diminishing value is heavier upfront. This is where a lot of investors get tripped up. They often assume one method must be better than the other, or produce higher returns. However, both methods yield the same amount of deductions in the end. It all comes down to timing and what suits your strategy. What works well with one investor may not be the best fit for another. So the better question is not which method gives more, it is which method gives me the benefit based on my strategy the best. That's the real strategic difference. You may be asking now, which one is better for you and your investment strategy? That depends on your goals, your income, and how long you plan to hold the property. If you prefer consistency and you're thinking long-term, prime cost method may be more appealing. It gives you a more steadier pattern of deductions and can feel more predictable over the life of the asset. If your priority is stronger deductions earlier on, diminishing value may look more attractive. That can appeal to investors who want immediate tax relief, stronger short-term cash flow, or who may not plan to hold the asset for more than the full term. This is why two investors can look at the exact same asset and have very different outcomes based on what they're trying to achieve. Ask yourself this: when it comes to your investment property, would you rather receive bigger deductions up front or more consistent deductions over time? Drop your answers in the comments. A common mistake investors make is assuming they can just switch methods later. Once a method is chosen for an asset, you generally can't change it halfway through just because another option starts to look better. That's why it's important to get it right from the start. Another mistake investors can make is overlooking a professionally prepared tax depreciation schedule, assuming their accountant will handle everything at tax time. However, accountants aren't legally qualified to prepare tax depreciation schedules. These need to be completed by a qualified professional such as a quantity surveyor who holds the right certification. Without the right information properly prepared from the start, this can lead to missed assets, incorrect values, and deductions that are either overlooked or not claimed as effectively as they could be. On paper, Prime cost and diminishing value can sound like a simple choice, but in reality, the right decision depends on the bigger picture. A schedule will outline eligible assets, have the correct values applied, and these small adjustments can ensure you are claiming your deductions properly from day one. Because at the end of the day, this is not just about understanding a formula, it's about making sure your investment property is working as efficiently as possible from a tax perspective. To sum it up, prime cost, diminishing value are both valid methods of claiming depreciation, but they produce a different pattern of deductions. Prime cost is steadier over time, diminishing value gives you more upfront and less later. If you want to make sure you're claiming depreciation properly and choosing the approach that best suits your property, get in touch with the team at Tax. And if you found this helpful, please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out our other content for more practical property tax tips.